Greetings, kitties! Welcome back to Keepers of the Crypt, our Tales from the Crypt podcast that delves deep into the dungeon of horrifying delights that Tales from the Crypt always had in store for us. Before today's wonderful episode, a little bit of business. People, please find Misfit Parade on YouTube. That's our channel. You can find this podcast, our short films, as well as our sister podcast, the Messed Up Movies Podcast. If you love Tales from the Crypt, you definitely love yourself some messed up movies. And that's what we talk about over there. We are so ecstatic that Tales from the Crypt has finally found a streaming home on Shudder. We are pumped to see you guys all talking about this wonderful classic show again. I'm your host, the Griff Keeper, joined as always by my friend, co-host, and one of those people.
Alex Dandino.
It's okay, because it's whites on whites.
Just get ready for the context of that joke.
There was definitely a moment where I was like, no, not Ewan McGregor. I'm not ready for racist Obi-Wan Kenobi. In today's Tales from the Crypt episode, Season 7, Episode 6, Cold War. I have to say, in a season of low effort, this title did make me fucking laugh out loud when I went back to look it up after, because the show starts and I had no idea what it was called. After the fact and the twist, I got quite a chuckle out of Cold War. Here we go. After losing their friend Cutter in a botched robbery, that's not what happened, Ford and Cammy, a wild young Londoner crime couple, split up, and Cammy finds a new lover, Jimmy. Jealous Ford shoots him, and the trio discovers something shocking about one another. Sorry, I had to get through that. I was a little stunned. Two directors are credited on this episode. Andrew Morahan and Robin Bextor.
Okay.
Writer, the infamous now Scott Nimfro is back.
Scott Nimfro.
Starring Ewan McGregor, Jane Horrocks, Colin, Salmon. So, all right, Alex.
What do you got?
This episode was baffling to me because this episode starts, and for what literally feels like 5 minutes, we watch Ewan McGregor, some ginger guy and some lady in the backseat drive around London lost.
Yeah.
As we listen to some kind of fucking music that is best described as what white people think jazz is. Like it's very ski-daddling.
Yeah.
It's very La La Land, right? It's ski-daddling, aimless music as people just drive around literally lost. For what feels like 5 fucking minutes of TV. I literally looked down at my watch and I was like, how has this fucking show not started yet? How has this not started? Ewan McGregor's like young. He's a little plumped up. I was like, I'm very fascinated by this. It would not start. They get to their destination. And he's like, see, I told you, it's not a bank. It's a laundromat. And I was like, fuck, we're doing another crime thriller. The show literally just made me drive around lost only to get to a destination that doesn't exist. I was like, we're off to a bad start. Ewan McGregor's like, well, fuck, we'll just go rob a gas station. It's like, okay, that's a weird choice. They run in. There's already an Asian biker gang. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, God, what's happening? In the long history of Tales from the Crypt, it's very rare that you see the show trying to find the story as it's literally playing on your TV. Well, this was very aimless at the start.
Well, again, you know what's interesting? So the last, we usually watch these in blocks of 3. And it's funny that Horror in the Night, Cold War, and The Kidnapper, these 3 are the ones we watch. Because I was watching these 3, and I realized there's a theme emerging for Season 7 itself, which is, hey, let's just state the premise, and then, I don't know, maybe, make a, at best, 5-minute short film into, stretch that out to a 20-minute bit. Because it really is, this one particularly is real, there's not a lot of meat on the bones. It's...
Dude, think about this. Let me hit you with this. So we're driving lost.
Yeah.
We go back to the apartment. They kind of argue. He shoots a gun on the roof, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we go to the bar, right? Where his girlfriend's like, I'm leaving you, fuck you. He's like, no one else will take you. They don't want you, blah, blah, you're trash. You'll be crawling back. She goes to the bar, and there's just this fucking suave, debonair man in there who's just like, I've been underground for a long time. You know what I'm looking for. Where are the ladies? I want to dick someone down. It's like, okay.
Right.
He, of course, sees the lady. And just like the least sexy seduction you've ever seen, like I was like, this is like bordering on sad. Because my son was watching with me, and he goes, Dad, was this old-time Riz? And I go, no, son, it was not ever Riz. This is so sad. This goes on forever. Her attempted seduction, the wordplay for sexual innuendos, her going to the jukebox to again play one of the worst fucking songs you've ever heard for a sexy moment, to then go to him. They dance for what feels like 4 minutes of screen time while nothing happens. No one addresses them. It keeps doing goddamn cross dissolves like it's my mom putting together an iMovie of family vacation photos of them still just dancing and nothing happening. This has at least 3 separate moments in this show that seem like it's just like, guys, we need 4 minutes and 29 seconds. Make it happen. What do you got? And they're like, nothing. Just dance. It's insane. And to your point, the last, what would you say, 3 minutes? 4 minutes max is the whole episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Actually, yeah, that's what it is. So okay, so Ewan McGregor is clearly... Hey, is he supposed to be American?
Okay, so I thought that too, and his name is Ford, because he kept saying, he's like, I don't know what a wanker is.
Yeah.
And I was like,
so
that's a weird, like, British guy thing to say. And he's doing some weird voice that does not sound British or Scottish.
I think he's supposed to be American, but he's bad. And again, like, Ewan McGregor is pretty legendarily bad at covering up his accent.
I mean, he took away his accent. I don't know what the fuck he replaced it with. If that makes any sense.
Honestly, like, it's just a strange thing. And I really, at the end of the day, don't understand I don't understand the appeal
Give a fuck.
I don't understand the appeal of making actors pretend they're American in London on a TV show that's taking place. Like,
well, this is the weird thing.
I don't understand why we're doing it.
We ended the show. Right. We ended the show, and it's like, wait, was he American the whole time? It has nothing, literally nothing to do with the episode we're watching. Him being a Londoner or an American in London, other than saying I don't know what wanker means, which I guess is like a dick joke of sorts, has literally nothing to do with the plot of the show. Not for a second. Does it change anything in the show?
Just couldn't
care less. Because what's the gimmick that they keep coming back to? It's not about him being mad that people are questioning why he's here. It's the lady being sick of every guy in the vicinity calling her a bitch. Or him being upset that people keep threatening his beautiful pre-fucking heroin train-spotting face, right?
Yeah.
It's such a bizarre series of hodgepodgery and bullshit. Their friend Cutter just gets killed, right? They're like, hey, Cutter. Or they go in and do the bank robbery. She's got the gun. He's like, you're going to hit me with that. That has a wide spray. One of the wildest lines in the show, right? When the robbery goes botched with all the fucking Asian biker gang, which you're just like, please don't do anything insanely racist, which I think they land the plane on. You're like, it's still bizarre. It's just a lot of Asian guys going, oh! Yeah. And you're like, well, that's not
the
great.
Thing. The whole episode is like tinged with this. It's not clever.
Maybe that's why Ewan McGregor's racist.
It's because he's American?
Or maybe that's why Ewan McGregor's supposed to be American, is because he's like really spouting off a lot of racism. Because he tells his girlfriend, right, who has a shotgun stick that has a widespread, he's like, we'll have a better chance of getting out of here if you use what's between your legs instead of that gun. And I was like, well, that's kind of a doubly American thing to say, right? Disrespecting a woman's autonomy.
Hey, can you fuck your way out of this place?
Pro-gun. Yeah. Can you fuck all three of these Asian guys in fucking Ducati jackets so I can run away? I was like, I don't understand at all. So the Cutter guy can't light a cigar. He comes in and gets shot, and they're like, goodbye, Cutter. And I was like, okay, that's the Tales we're doing. Cutter's going to come get his revenge.
Same.
No. And I was like, all right, they keep calling her a bitch. He's worried about his face. I was like, what could this possibly be leading to? She goes and gets dick down, brings the guy back to the apartment so that Ewan McGregor sees him, right? And she's like, I finally found someone else, right? And he's like, I was expecting someone more. This is the guy you told me about. And I was like, okay. And then he goes, ew, you can't partner up with one of them. He's like, you should go wash yourself.
And everyone watching that, eyes go,
the thought of it, well, it is because he's like, you can't be with one of them. You got to go take another shower. The thought of it makes me gross. I just go, oh fucking. Wow. I was like, what?
Racism?
No way.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was kind of like, oh boy. I was like, there's no chance they land.
Yeah, I was like,
plane.
are we doing?
There's
are we
no
doing,
chance.
It's like, are we doing Corbin Burnson Tales from the Hood racism? Or are we doing like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, it's like, we're definitely not doing like a Time to Kill racism. I was like, there's no version of this that is going to be okay. Yeah. There's no version of this that's going to be fine. Lo and behold, I was right. It's just a different kind of racism. Yeah. They did not land the plane. It ended in bloody tragedy, as the show somehow reveals to us. Because he goes, you racist piece of shit. I should fucking knock your teeth out. He's like, I'm not racist. I'm anti-vampire. So essentially, Ewan McGregor and the lady are zombies, as they say. No explanation of why. No explanation what that means.
They're just undead.
We don't do an underworld moment where we find out why these people are turned and whatever.
And that's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and the tall drink of water she finds at the bar is a full vampire. And he's like, you guys are trash. So then the only black guy in the show has to become the racist, who's racist against the zombies. And he's like, you guys eat the disgusting shit. We fucking throw our scraps on the floor, and that's what you guys eat. And I was like, oh, okay, like, why? What is this doing? What's this about? And they essentially all three tackle each other out of a window, and Ewan McGregor has this sad, mussed-up face that maybe he lives with forever, and her collarbone sticking out, and she's like, well, we don't both have to be the pretty one. And the show ends, and it goes back to the creepy part. I remember sitting in my chair, and I just was like, hold the fuck on. That was so much that just got crammed down my throat in like 3 minutes. So it's a story about racism, but it's zombie vampire racism, but not like a cool underworld, like we know why they have beef. They just do. They look like normal people. They're like vampires, but without cool. Like, what? Who? What? Are they going to heal? Oh, we're not going to talk about it? This, to me, feels almost like our second incomplete grade. Because wouldn't the first scene of this movie be walking in, finding your girlfriend, banging the black guy, pretending it's about racism, it's vampires, and then we have a whole show of vampires and zombies trying to battle.
Like doing it's like a flashback episode, which would be like the one time it would work, is like you're going to bury the lead. Sure, I'd buy that.
They have 2 or 3 sections where they literally waste 5 to 8 minutes of our lives watching them drive, dance, whatever. This is about zombies versus vampire racism, is what you're telling me. That's what's important in this story. You cannot have that as the final flip, the reveal. That should be immediate. I'm going to go rob this guy. I hate him specifically because of what he is, and we think it's just good old American racism. And then you do that, it's vampires and whatever. That has to be what the show's about. You can't just at the end throw in, hey, there's a lot of versions of racism, and black people do it too. It's like,
it's the most.
What? That's the craziest 90s shit I've ever heard in my life.
It's the most 90s thing ever, which is like, hey, racism, right? We've all got it. And like, no, not true.
Who produced this episode? Baby Ben Shapiro? Like, what are we talking?
Sorry. Was the co-producer on this the Daily Wire? I must have missed that in the credits.
Yeah. I was like, who is agreed? What the fuck? Whose side am I on? What are they doing? This like blew my mind. Yeah. I was like, this is, and again, it feels like that's better than everything else in the episode.
Not even a buried lead. It's literally like, oh, huh? Weird. That's okay.
It's not a buried lead. It's a literal nothing. If I told you to watch this show, if I showed this to 1 million people who had no idea what it was about, and I paused it as he said the line, "Ew, you can't partner up with one of them."
Right.
How many people out of 1 million would say vampire versus zombies? How many of all the shitty, no-budget horror movies we've watched, on Tubi, at festivals, like, I'm very steeped in this world. I don't know if I've ever seen a vampires versus zombies movie. It's just not a thing in culture. It's not a thing that matters. Like, where did this come from? Why does this exist? Yeah. It's wild.
What did we do to deserve any of this? What did I personally do to this entire franchise to get like an episode that essentially is like, listen, we just got to fill space. The last like 5 minutes is the episode we were trying to do. And it's like, okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if that last scene was
the beginning?
The first scene.
No, I get it. I think what you're saying.
And then, but that's what I'm saying. I think this is an incomplete, and it's worse than the newspaper killer. Like, this is a very sad episode. It literally just nothing happens.
I don't think I can give it an incomplete because of what you just said. Nothing. I think you have to give it.
I think so.
I think you have to give it the old not applicable, the NA.
Yeah, and it's
own
one
thing.
of those. It's like, I guess you did some. You put in a lot of things that made me pause and go, "Ooh, I'm about to see some racism." Yep. Not my favorite.
Oh, here it comes.
But then, and I was kind of right, but like not great. Yeah, it's a weird hodgepodge. The one thing this episode has that a lot of great tales do is Ewan McGregor and Colin Salmon, right? Seeing like actors who went on to bigger and better things early in a Tales episode or late in their career in a Tales episode is always very memorable to me.
Yeah, this is
this was Ewan McGregor before he was Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, this is 96. This is like post Shallow Grave. This is like first Danny Boyle collab Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, and so that alone makes it a cut above some lesser episodes, right?
This episode came out the same year he was in Trainspotting, which is his breakout.
Yeah, and that's like there are just episodes where all of a sudden it's like, oh, look, it's baby that person. This episode does have that. It is captivating to watch Ewan McGregor attempting to be whatever the fuck he is in this movie. And, it makes fucking choices. But yeah, I think you have to give it the incomplete. Not gradable.
No,
sadly.
I'm not giving it incomplete.
It's not
I'm
gradable.
giving it a not applicable. It is not a thing. It's just a thing that exists.
Well, no. They did show us what the show they wanted to make was. They just didn't then make a Tales from the Crypt episode, right? The newspaper guy was the same thing. It's like, here's this whole thing about a guy who's going to kill for headlines. And then we don't do that journey. And you're like, that's insane that you didn't realize what your episode was about. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence. This one, again, it has Ewan McGregor, which makes it memorable and interesting.
It's bad.
I think maybe I'm racist towards vampires and zombies now. Like, I just don't want any of them, or at least I don't want them together. I don't want them grouping up.
Oh my god,
that sounds bad.
Yeah, if that gets clipped out, you're canceled, man, for sure.
What? That I don't want vampires and zombies?
If that gets clipped out, Ben Shapiro's going to call you and be like, "Do you want a deal?" And you're like, "Yes."
It's like, no, I refuse to make money doing this. Unbelievable. No, it's a weird series of choices, but for season 7, this one ain't bad.
Sort of par for the course.
I gotta say that.